All right, PJ, how's spring been for you just in a general sense overall?
Sure. Overall, I think it's been pretty good. I think I've been stacking days, elevating my game a bit, getting more comfortable every single year. So we're just going to keep on stacking. But overall, it's been good.
Was last year tough for you, just not being able to be 100% healthy out there?
Definitely tough. Anyone who goes through any type of injury is always going to be difficult. Going through it and the aftermath of just trying to bounce back. But the good Lord has me, and I try to just believe in that every single day. So yeah.
What are those areas that you feel like you've improved as a player since the end of last season?
Yes, sir. I think I've improved just my knowledge of the game, awareness, situational, physicality, all of the above when it comes to D-line play.
You've added more pounds too, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
What are you up to now?
About 265.
265 from, what were you, 250 last year?
Yeah,
wow.
Sir.
How'd you do that?
Just by eating, eating, taking it serious, having a goal, and sticking to it, staying true to what I want to do. And I know if I want to be a really good top D lineman, I gotta be heavy. I gotta be able to hang, and yeah.
Is it tough to kind of hang in there and put that weight on like that? I mean, that's got to be.
Is it tough to play with? You're saying?
No. Is it tough to do every day? Discipline yourself.
It's definitely hard. Days, nights where you don't want to eat, but you know how your body works. You know how your body gains weight and lose weight. So I know if I miss a certain meal, I know I'm gonna lose weight. So just being able to know that, okay, no matter what, I gotta get this down tonight, even if I don't want to. So
you mentioned stacking days.
Yes, sir.
When you went into the spring, what to yourself did you say had to change about your approach to become a guy that could be consistently out there?
I would say my mentality. Every single time I come on the field, just coming with a just with a mindset of hunger. I'm ready to attack anything, and not really comparing myself, but just being the best me that I could be every single time I come on.
PJ, when you had those tough days last year and trying to get healthy again, who were the most people that encouraged you, or who encouraged you the most during those days, during those tough days?
Sure. I always say teammates, uplifting me, family, of course, my coaches. I'm very happy to say that I have a really good support system. So, they were able to uplift me, on days where it definitely was tough not being out there with your guys all the time, and you're still going to celebrate them from the sideline, but, you definitely want to be out there with them as much as possible. But, yeah, I think I have a really good support system, very good foundation. Who are able to, lift me up.
What motivates you these days? What motivates you the most? Yeah.
My family, my goals, my aspirations for the future, God, all of that.
Okay. And then being a part of this team, I guess you said your teammates and things like that motivate you as well. How does that work? How does that
work?
Yeah.
Especially in our room, our D-line room, defensive end room specifically, we have a very close room. And we all talk, on days where anyone's going through that, guys will just come to you, maybe share their experience and how they did it, how they're able to bounce back, and just the mindset to have, in those on those tough days whenever you're going through it.
Has there been, coming out of high school so highly ranked, was there a lot of pressure that you had to learn to deal with, and is that kind of something that you've gotten past just as a player?
There is pressure, but I try not to really think about it. At the end of the day, when I got to college, being highly recruited, I knew that either way, I gotta reprove myself. To me, the rankings, I don't want to say it doesn't matter in today's age, but when I get to college, it's just different. You have to. It's a reset. It's a reset. You can't come in there. Yes, you have pressure, but just be you at the end of the day. So that's what I told myself every day.
How much does just body transformation, in that part of it, help you be more confident as a football player?
Oh, you're just stronger. Stronger, faster. So you can, like I kind of said, you can just hang in with the guys. It's easier to just shut a block. It's easier to get knocked back. Stuff like that.
How much does Coach Shave has been there during this journey?
Oh, every single day. He's one of the most involved coaches there is. So he's been every single day. I just never really know what way else to say it. He's in there every single day. He's in the A-gap with us.
Young players on this defense, who's impressed you the most this spring? from the newcomers?
From young players from my group or
overall.
Let me think. I would say Alex Shieldnight. He's in my group. Could be biased, but I like his work ethic, his mentality, his just will to want to work and want to learn and want to pick everyone's brain. She's really straining to really know what he has to do on the field to be successful. So I definitely noticed that. And I like that about him.
As a first-year player, how much is that mental adjustment almost or maybe even more important than that physical transition?
As a first-year player?
As a first-year player or a freshman. For any freshman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You said for any freshman what?
Yeah,
So,
just that mental adjustment.
oh, it's definitely hard. I remember my freshman year, especially in this defense, it's just not easy. There's definitely a block there coming from high school, transitioning from high school to college. So, it's just something that you just got to stack every day. You got to come here with goals. Maybe you may not get the play time that you want, but, you just got to keep on straining to just know your plays, know what you have to do to get better. And, definitely pick everyone's brain, pick older guys' brain, because they're going to lead you to the right path and not lead you astray.
You were a five-star player coming in. David Stone was a five-star player coming in. What did you see about his journey? I know he may not have got the playing time he wanted, but how have you seen him make that freshman to sophomore jump?
To me, I would just say he's a lot more confident. He's definitely gotten bigger, stronger, and you can just see his will to work. He loves to work, and you can see his will to want to get better, always trying to pick brains, especially from the coaches, outside of football. You could just see it, and that's definitely one thing I think he's improving.
Did you have a set goal that you wanted to come out of spring saying I accomplished this, at least in my mind?
I just want to confidently say that I got better. That I got better in the things that I set as goals prior to spring ball.
As a young guy, I would imagine the spring game was a really big deal that you got to practice and come out in front of a bunch of fans. Is it disappointing as a player that you have something, but it's not really the scrimmage?
Yeah, personally, it's definitely cool to come out here and showcase, in a game style format. But it's either or is fine. I don't really know what we're going to be doing. Really,
I don't think anybody does.
What have been your impressions of Marvin Jones so far?
What
have been your impressions of Marvin Jones so far?
Love him. I think he's been a really good asset to our group. Older guy. So I'm always trying to pick his brain, and he's just a good presence for our group. He's not too cocky. None of that. He's just like one of the guys, and appreciate that about him. And he definitely works. And he teaches me a few things. So yeah.
Thanks, BJ.
Yes, sir.